Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to the Altenew YouTube and Facebook channels and Amy's Inspiration Station. So I'm so glad that you are here to join us on this fabulous Monday. And we have Melly and Shiomara and Kathy. Hello, everybody. I am so glad that you are here. And if you share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card. And we have Lydia behind the badge today. I'm so excited. So please give Lydia some love, who is behind the badge today. She will announce that winner at the end of our show. And we have Peggy from Florida and Kim in Alaska and Sandra. Hello. And hi, Nancy. How are you doing? I hope that you are doing well. And I have kind of a good it's a pretty good show planned today. And I just wanted to say I wanted to dedicate this show. I have a friend who's going through a little bit of a tough time. And I wanted to make three, hopefully I'll get to three, clean and simple cards that are inspiring and just easy to put together. And since it is Mail It Monday, please, I'm going to be encouraging you to get those cards in the mail, send them to somebody to just kind of make their day a little bit brighter. All right, we're kind of ending summer. It's good to kind of send those cards out. Hi, Sue, and we have Cece. So I hope you guys are doing well. I am playing around with some mini delights, and there is a new, there's a free stamp set, I believe, with purchase over $59 today, and it is called the Proud of You stamp set, and it's this really pretty outline floral, but I hope that, I think using that set with some of the designs that I have today would actually work really, really well. So hi, Sue. Oh my gosh, Sue, it's ridiculous. I'm up in New England and it is hot and humid. Hi, Linda. I hope that you are doing well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get right to work. And I would love to know, do you have a Mini Delight subscription? Are you a Mini Delight fan? Let me know in the comments what you think of Mini Delights. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get my camera onto my workspace. And while I'm doing that, please share this live while we're live, and you'll be entered to win an Altenew gift card. All right, so I am right on my desk, and we have Lydia behind the badge today. And these are the projects that I have. So I've got 3 cards, and as you guys know, I kind of tend to over-plan everything. But I wanted to play around. I've been doing some things that have been really very detailed, and what I wanted to do is to make things that are kind of clean and simple, that are a little bit clean, they're easy to put together. And by the way, Crystal, I am so glad you are here and that you made it. Yes. And Kim, I did not plant Kim, but Kim asked probably a super fabulous question, which is, what is a Mini Delight? And so just to let you know, Kim, Altenew has some like different lines of stamps, and one of them is the Mini Delight. And what I love about Mini Delights and what they are is it's a stamp set. They come out once a month, and you can subscribe to them, which means that you'll get them kind of before anybody else. And if you do the subscription, you get a little bit off on the price, but it comes to small stamp set and it comes with a coordinating die. And I love them all. So I have 3 that I want to play with today. So one is the mini cactus, and the other one is this really cute one called Tiny Foliage. And the third one is this one called Mini Paint Box. And so these are the three that I'm going to be playing with today. So you can check it out. Oh my gosh, Linda, Mini Delights. These are like, I like to use them for backgrounds. I like to use them for clean and simple cards. I think they're just absolutely fabulous. So I use those a lot. Yeah, they're really great. And hi, Debbie from South Africa. And Jane is here. Yes. And thank you so much, Shiomara, for sharing this on Facebook. And you too can be like Linda and Shiomara, and you could be entered to win a $15 gift card from Altenew. All right. So, and I'm so glad, Nancy. I know that's probably the subscription. This is the one that I have because this, I just absolutely am in love with Mini Delights. They're like my favorite. So I wanted to show today some ways that you can put together cards that are a little bit quick and easy. And these, for the most part, are one-ish layers. I have some stuff popped up, but not too much. So I'm going to actually start with the Mini Delight Mini Paint Box. And this one is really cute. And the coordinating die cuts out this part. And then you have these really adorable sentiments. And there's even a stamp to stamp the colors inside of the paint box. Yeah, there's one mini set a month, Kathy. And that's the kind of cool, that's kind of the cool thing about it is it's a little bit. And Cece, it's, and I like them too, exactly for that reason. I think you probably get the biggest bang for your buck with these things. And I just realized I'm gonna zoom in. So if you get a little sick, don't look right away. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit because I feel like I'm zoomed out too much. There we go. And we're good. Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you how I put this together. And where I started was just a piece of white cardstock. And I'm actually going to use my mat here. So this is my Altenew mat. I absolutely love this because of all the grid lines and everything. And then it's this middle part that already is set up for A2 size. And for those of you who are abroad and do not use imperial units, the back side of this is in centimeters. So I'm just going to take my piece of cardstock and I'm just going to line it up right in the middle. And I'm going to grab some satin masking tape and put this down. Hi, Kamiko from San Diego. Sue, thank you so much. And Tracy, hello. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing this to Facebook. And Sue, thank you for sharing this to Facebook. If you share this while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card. And today, by the way, is the Proud of You stamp set, which is free with purchase, $59 purchase. And it's this really pretty floral, like kind of single floral. And it has some really nice, encouraging sentiments on it, and that's what we're kind of focusing on. But that's what we focus on today, or that's what I'm focusing on today, is things that are for you to send to encourage somebody in your life. So this is kind of like an homage to the Mail It Monday. All right, so what I have here, and I already have, by the way, I am still on my original roll of satin tape because I reuse these pieces all the time. Debbie, how do you share a live chat? The best way to do it is you can let people know in your social media circles that we are live and how to find us. So if you're finding us on Facebook or if you're finding us through YouTube, you just share that link out with people that you know, and that is how you share a live. That's the easiest way. And thank you, Lydia. And Lydia is behind the badge today, and just also shared about how to do that. So what I was just saying is that for my masking tape, I use it all the time, and I reuse it all the time because this stuff is absolutely super fabulous. So what I have here, besides a very large cat hair, is I am just taking 2 strips of masking tape and I'm just using the grid lines on my mat just to get this little kind of piece out. And I'm going to use, I really love this set when I want like a nice rainbow and I don't feel like pulling a lot of colors. This is the Soft Pastel ink set. And it's fabulous because it comes with 6 inks in it and it's already rainbow. So I don't have to kind of think about it. I can just get it done and do it. And I absolutely love these colors. And when I want to get a soft blend, I like to use the small ink blending tools. I do use the minis a lot, but these are really my favorite to get a nice soft blend on something. So that's really super nice. Yes, Lydia is behind the badge today, Tracy. We are so lucky to have her here behind the badge, and I'm so excited. So please share this live while we're live and let Lydia know where you shared it, and then she will be the one who may be picking you to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. All right, so we are talking mini delights today. So let me know your love for the mini delights. Let me know. All right, so I'm starting off with rouge because I'm going to go ahead and do this in a nice, pretty rainbow. And I know that clean and simple cards are a little bit of the eye of the beholder. And I think about them as cards, not that are simple really, because I think design are really super important when you think about there's just not going to be as much on the page. So your design becomes really important. And you have to think about each of the elements that you have and how that impacts your overall design. So I'm using color here, but I'm still going to end up with a lot of white space. So that's why you're seeing that I made sure that there's a lot of white space left over. And as I do this rainbow, so I started off with rouge, and now I have Sunkissed, and I'm going to head over to Mango Smoothie. And again, these are all in that soft pastel ink set. And I'm making sure that I'm going to leave enough space for all of my colors. And I'm also making sure that I am getting right next to them. I'm kind of making sure that they're all connecting in. All right, so that's my Mango Smoothie. And now I'm going to head over to Mountain Mist. Now, you can't see it, but I have this like large piece of scrap paper that I am just kind of cleaning off my brushes in between. But again, like I said about these smalls versus the mini, because these bristles are a little bit like more free-flowing, I get a softer blend, which is what I wanted for the look of this. All right, and that's my Mountain Mist. And then I'm going to come on in with Ocean Waves. All right. And so we're going to finish up my rainbow. And you see I have just enough space. Now I'm not going to, you notice I only used 4. I have 6 colors that I put down, but I only used 4 of the blending brushes. And Lavender Fields it's a pretty purple, but it's a little bit more, I think of it as kind of a pinky purple. So I'm using the blue brush, which is going to give it a little bit more of a bluer tint. And so it's going to blend really well with this. And then once I'm done with my rainbow of blending, then what I'm going to do is just check over, is there anything that I need to, is there anything that I need to like make sure and kind of beef up that color? That's what I'm looking for right now. And then I'm just going to go in and kind of do that again. I think I'm going to go back in with a little bit of rouge because I feel like I read. Oh, that's a nice idea, Sue. So that way you kind of like are doing 2 at a time. That's a cute idea. But like I said, you don't need a lot of blending brushes. I kind of have all of those in there. So again, I just use these 4, nothing crazy. I keep them in my little box and put it right back in. And I have a second set, but I haven't opened that one yet. All right, so here we go. So that was the soft pastels. And I like using that instead of having to get out like 6 different color families. But you can see what a nice, beautiful, clean line that this satin masking tape makes. And I reuse it. I'm not throwing this out. It's right over to the side. I have this right here. All right. Beautiful, right? Gorgeous. And you can see that I still have a lot of white space up and over, but I want to give it a little bit of something. So I want to kind of zhuzh this up a little bit. And what I want to do is I want to add some metallic elements. And one of the easiest ways to do that, and I don't want to add a lot of, oops, there goes that. I don't want to add a lot of bulk. So I could take strips of gold cardstock and I could put those on there, but that would be like a lot of bulk. So I want to keep this kind of really, really one layer and flat. And so I'm actually going to use this. This is the Ultra Sticky double-sided tape, and this is in the 1/4 inch. So it comes in 3 different sizes, but I'm using the 1/4 inch for this today. Yes, Tracy, it's so pretty. And I have to say, it's not even just these colors that Altenew already put together for you, thank goodness, especially for those of us that are color challenged. It's using these small blending tools. And because these are so soft, they really help to kind of make sure that those are all going together. All right, so I'm going to take just a piece and I'm going to line this up. And again, I'm using my grid line on my mat and a little bit of what I have left. I'm going to remove any sort of cat hair that I have on the tape. And then I'm going to just place this right on top of that. And again, I'm using my grid lines on my mat to make sure that's going to stay right down. And then this is really easy to just tear right off. So super easy. All right. Oh, thank you so much for sharing this, Debbie. And if you share this like Debbie to your social media while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. And Lydia is behind the badge today, so please give Lydia some love. And she will be announcing that winner at the end of our show. All right, so I'm just going to take my bone folder, and all I'm doing is just making sure that this is really good contact onto my paper. Now, my next step here, you're like, Amy, you put tape down. What are you going to do? How are you going to put paper on it? Is I have the Altenew foils. I love all four of them. I didn't grab brass because I knew I wasn't going to use it. So I have these three. And I literally am just using remnants. So I have this one left over. And I think this one is enchanted gold. Yeah, that's totally enchanted gold. I have this left over because this is the fine rings hot foil. I'm not using this today, but this is just the piece. That's what it looks like when you use it. And I'm just going to use my scrap remnants because I got a lot of foil left on this page and I don't want to waste it. So I'm just going to pick up off my tape pieces, my little backers, and I'm throwing those out. Oh, thank you so much, Jane, for sharing this while we are live. All right. Yeah, it is. Like I said, I think, and I did that lickety split. I did that blending really, really lickety split. It comes out so smooth, and that really is the small ink blending tools. So know your tools. Honestly, know your tools. All right, so I'm just going to take this. Now, a few of you are going to be like, all right, Amy, you got like some holes there? Don't worry. We're going to fill those in. It's going to be okay, I promise. All right, so I'm just going to take those and I'm just going to go ahead and just shove this foil down, grab my bone folder, and I'm just going to make sure that foil makes really good contact. And yes, I'm going to have some spots that there's no foil to contact to the ink, to the tape, but don't worry, we'll fix that in a second. Oh yeah, I know. Well, this way, Sue, I get to, use up some stuff that I have on the side. So like I said, I have these pieces and I, can't throw a lot of stuff away. So I have to reuse it somehow. All right. So you see, I get some pieces and all I'm going to do, because that tape is still present, I'm just going to take sections of my foil and just go right back over that. And that is going to just pick up any other foil that's there. And then you'll never know that there was something that shouldn't have been there. So it's just going to go right where that tape was, right over it. And that's all I'm doing, is just fixing anything just by going right on over it. And just this little bit of edge of gold just gives your project just a little bit of extra oomph and a little bit of extra shine. And it's really super simple, very, very easy to do. And it comes and just looks really great. Really super easy. Gonna get that right in there. And I'm just going to continue to go over this until all my little holes are filled. And that's how I use remnants of foil, because this stuff, I use it until literally there's no more foil left on it. So I just keep going. And I love all four of the colors because, of course, I had to get all of the colors on that one. But you'll see that. So now we have that. So it's little patches of foil lay flat. Yes, yes, they will lay flat. It comes in a roll, but it's, how can I put this? It's like, it's staticky. So if I put it down, it's gonna fall. Yeah, totally. Yes, Linda, this is a great one. It's a game changer. And that's why I have all the 3 sizes of this. So this comes in a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, and 1 inch. And this stuff is super fabulous because it is ultra sticky. It is so super duper sticky. Yes, exactly, Tracy. And then you can just add a sentiment and you're kind of good to go. So that's what I'm actually going to be doing here. So let me get my little mini set. So this is the Mini Delight mini paint box, and I love this. Now I've already, because I knew I was going to try to do 3 cards today, I've actually already die cut out the paint box. So let me grab my stamp wheel, and I'm going to go ahead and bring that in, and we're going to do a little stamping of this guy. So I have my negative space. I still kept that. And this is why I love the stamp wheel too, because it's so, this mat is so sticky. So I can just stick this right in. So I'm going to grab the stamp. And this stamp comes with the little paint box, like I said before, but it also comes with these really cute sentiments. So it says, use all of the colors, or it says, colors or color me happy. And so both of those I think are just really cute. But I think this is a neat, it's just a cute little set to have. I really like this set. Yes, Crystal, aren't they fabulous? I love the Altenew tape rolls as well. Use them all the time. They are literally next to me. They have a special place on my desk, and I use them a lot. All right, so let me put my little paper in. And again, this stamp wheel makes my life so much easier when I'm trying to stamp on a die cut, because now I don't have to tape anything down. It's all done. So I love that, because I know it's gonna stay in place. So I'm using my Obsidian ink because this is the most fabulous black ink you possibly can have, you know. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and put this right in. And it stamps perfect, absolutely perfect. Now, you could take this and you could use markers and you could fill this in. Not obviously if you used Obsidian. You could use watercolor. That would work. But I'm going to use the coordinating stamp. So the set comes with this little circle. And that fits perfectly into this. But I'm not going to use the stamp wheel. Instead, I'm actually going to use a block. So Lydia knows me, and she knows that I don't like to hand stamp a lot. So I trust myself with this one, though, Lydia. I promise. I did it earlier. It totally worked. Now, I will let you know, I'm going to use the soft pastel ink set that I have, which has 6 colors to it. Now there's 10 little spots in here, and there's 10 little spots in here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to end up using my rainbow, but I don't want my colors to be absolutely identical. So what I'm going to, thanks, Lydia. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to double stamp. Lydia, this is where it's going to get tricky, if you believe me and hand stamping. I'm going to double stamp the top to make that a little bit darker, and I'm going to single stamp the bottom to make that lighter. And this way I can stretch my inks, and I don't have to get more inks out. I don't have to do anything, so I can just kind of use what I already have. All right. Little trick, if you don't know it, these little cubes, they stick to the stamp wheel. So if you're doing stuff like this, you can just go ahead and go for it. So that's 1. Oh my gosh, Lydia, I did it. That's 2. And I just want to say, if I can do this, that means that this stamp is relatively easy to use. All right, so I'm just going to stamp this even one more time. And that's just going to make that nice and dark. And again, that's how, I can do this. And yeah, this is how I can do it. And it's going to be really easy to do. So yes, you definitely do, Sherry. The tape is super versatile, really easy to use. And I use it for a lot of stuff, not just adhering, like also like we're doing today. And I'm actually going to use it on another card, and you'll see that in a second. All right, so here's Mango Smoothie. So that was once, that's twice, and that's 3 times to Mango Smoothie. Okay, so that's Rouge, Mango Smoothie. Now we're going Mountain Mist. So here I go. I know, Sue, I got it off though, but it does definitely tell you how sticky that stamp. I actually cleaned off my stamp wheel mat yesterday because I knew it was going to make a little appearance today, and it was a little messy. 2 and 3. And so you can see how nice and dark that is coming out, that top. And then what I'm doing is I'm just wiping off my little stamp in between my stamping. So, oh yeah, Crystal, I'm going to be using that that foam tape that's also going to be making an appearance. I got a lot of adhesive going on today. All right, 1, 1, and then we're going to go 2, and we're going to go 3. All right, you can see how that, again, we're stretching that. Yes, stamp wheel hug. I like that, Lydia. I haven't thought about it that way. I always kind of feel like sometimes we're fighting over things, but all right, here we go. Lavender Fields. This is Last of My Rainbow. 1 and 1, and then 2 and 2. There we go. So that's 3. So again, same inks, but all I'm doing is just by doing the triple stamping, really, it's just giving more color to that. So that way I can get a little bit of a different look out of the color. So I've only used 5 colors, but it just makes it a little bit easier. All right, so I'm going to grab this out of here. Okay, and this I don't need anymore, so that's going to go. And we got my card. All right, so I'm also going to hand stamp my sentiment. And the tricky part with this is making sure that it fits all the way along. And the S in here is its own kind of separate little business. So I'm going to start with the S on the outside, and then I'm going to move inwards on there. Tracy, there we go. There's our song for today. Lavender Fields. Yes. All right, here we go. So I'm using Obsidian. The tricky thing with Obsidian, just be mindful, it does dry quick, but it doesn't dry instantaneously. And so I have a tendency where sometimes I get Obsidian in places where I don't really want to get Obsidian. So we have a love-hate relationship, I should say, Obsidian and I. All right, again, and by the way, this stamp block, I know you probably have 1.5 million stamp blocks, but I really like this little Altenew stamp block because it's nice and small and it has its own little case, which I'll show you in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So really cute. All right, so I'm going to use this sentiment that says use all of thee. And I'm just going to make sure it's kind of on my mat, and I'm just going to pick it up. There we go. We're using that mat again. Okay. I have a tendency, like I do a little Obsidian transfer all the time. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, there we go. I know, I do that all the time, Sue. I don't know, it just kind of appears. I will say I did have to do a little bit of surgery on that card to save it from a little obsidianness. All right, so my last thing is I'm just going to add this on. So I just wanted to take a moment. So again, we're focusing on clean and simple cards, cards that are inspiring, because we're talking about Mail It Monday. And it's, you know, if you haven't been, and I know I'm terrible at this, is if you haven't been mailing those cards out that you're making, take a moment, get a stamp on them, write a note, address it, and get it out to somebody. And that's my goal today as well. I know there's no mail service today in the US, but you can get it out into the mailbox and then they can come and grab it tomorrow and send it out. All right, so I'm using a little bit of Instant Dimension foam tape, and love this. This is my Mama Roll, which I actually use this a lot. That just kind of goes to show you how big this is, because it's like, it's big. And it's also really easy to cut. So I'm just kind of getting off a little section, and then I'm just cutting this into pieces, and then just cutting these pieces off. And there we go. And I'm just going to put this in. I will say I find the release paper on this super easy to take off, which for me is always, I hate that stuff. I don't like tiny things, tiny little bits. Ah, yes, Sue, I do that too. Little gems, but I'm like, it's clean and simple. So it's like, you don't necessarily need a like ton of little gems all over the place, or you don't necessarily want all of that. So I was trying to keep it kind of clean. And thank you so much, Crystal. It's, like I said, just a little rainbow, a little bit of foil, and it's really easy to do. And I like this little set because it just kind of screams, you know, fun and crafty friend. When I look at the mini paint box, Mini Delight mini paint box, that's what I think of. It's like, hey, this is just a little friend. All right, little trick that I do is I use my little tweezers, and this is all ready to kind of be put down, but I know I'm not going to put it down in the right spot. So I'm just going to put it on my tweezers once I get this little section off. There we go. And then I'm just going to move it around just to kind of see the exact angle, because I'm trying to get the angle of colors. And I want to make sure that the colors are going in with my rainbow. So I'm just going to go ahead and just put this down right there. And committing. I am committing. There we go. All right. So now these little edges of foil, which are like, what are you going to do with the little edges of foil? I am just going to fold those right back. And that's my first card. And that's my first card. And again, clean and simple. Doesn't have to be kind of crazy. And I love this because it's all flat because of that tape with the foil. But that rainbow really gives that pop, but you still have all that white space. And that, in my opinion, makes it a clean and simple card. So that's our first card. So that is with the Mini Delight mini paint box. All right, where's my protractor? I can't see. Oh, Nancy, you know it's here. You know it's around. All right, so now we're going to move on to my second one. And this one, I think you could probably debate me whether or not it's clean and simple, but I'm going to say it is because of how much white space, and it's simple design, you know? And so I kind of think of something like this as simple. And this is using the Mini Delight cactus. And this one I just got, he is so cute. And I was like, I have to use this for something. And I'm also using in here another new to me product, but this has been out. Oh, actually, no, this is new too, is the Mini Instant Camera Frame Die. How cute is this? How cute is that? So I'm using this as well. And the third product, because why not? You got to have a lot in here, is the Hosta 3D embossing folder with coordinating stencil. And I'm going to show you how I put all of these things together. So this one is a little bit more involved than our first one. And I'm actually used some of the extra pieces on here to get my third card. So my third card's a little bit of a bonus, but this one might take a little bit to do. All right, so I am going to just clean up my space and move some stuff over, because I have to bring in my big mama embossing machine. That's what I'm going to bring in through. Oh my gosh, Sue, it was so hard. I was like I was thinking about doing this card, and I had the idea in my head, but then I'm like, oh my God, I had to go through like all of my Altenew 3D embossing folders to just find like the exact right one. And it was so hard to pick it. But the Hosta one is my favorite because I love the coordinating stencil. It's just like, it's so gorgeous. All right, so there's a couple of things with this card. You'll notice this frame, the Mini Instant Camera Frame, is actually inset into the panel. So it's not sitting on top of the embossing. And I wanted to do that because there's so much texture here on the side that if I took this and put it on top of the embossing folder, it just wouldn't sit flat the way I wanted it to sit. Because again, I'm doing clean and simple cards, so I want to make sure that there's white space, but although there's not like layers upon layers upon layers of things. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to grab a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to take the Mini Instant Camera Frame die, and I'm going to put this, using my satin masking tape, I'm going to put this right in the middle. So I'm going to put this right where I want it to go. And again, notice I'm using this mat, And I'm using this so I can line up my piece of A2 cardstock. And I'm just going to go ahead and just tape this down because I have a tendency to move and shift things. So I know. Oh, Alicia, I'm so glad that you are here and to join us. We are talking the love of mini delights today because I love me a mini delight and they are so versatile. You can do so many things with them. And I am doing clean and simple cards today. All right, so I'm just taking my satin masking tape and I'm just putting that right on here. And I'm going to get another piece. And I have this stuck like all over my desk in various, whenever there's like a solid surface, I have satin masking tape stuck to it somewhere. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm going to bring in my embossing machine. Oh my gosh, right, Alicia? They are the best. I love mini delights. I got 3 of them today, Alicia. So I hope that you go back and check out the replay. This was the mini paint box. So cute. All right, so I'm just going to pull this up. And I'm just going to go ahead and run this right in there. And this die this is actually my first time using this little mini instant camera frame. And it's really cute. I really, really like this a lot. All right, I'm going to run this back one more time, just because, again, I'm a little extra. All right, there we go. Just to make sure it's covered. Okay. So this is what it does. There's a little section there. And then that's the little frame. It's so adorable. And I like the little, like, embossing that it does there. It's so cute. All right, so now I'm going to pull this guy out. Best I can. And I'm going to peel this guy off. And I'm going to need him again in just a second. But what I'm going to do is what I have left over, I'm going to grab my Hosta 3D embossing folder, and then I'm going to shove this through now with this guy. And that's how I'm getting that background. So I die cut it out already, and that's how I'm getting the background. So I'm going to make sure that's nicely lined up, close that right in, and then I'm going to do my embossing sandwich, which is just, for me, it's just the bottom platform and the top plate. And I know I don't always have to put water on my paper. I don't really note it, like, for me, it seems to work out either way. Okay, look at that. Look at that texture. Gorgeous. All right, so that's that. Now I got one more thing to emboss, and that is I want to emboss this on a piece of the brushed gold metallic cardstock. And this is just going to give that little bit of gold accent that I want in my clean and simple card. So it's just going to give me a little bit of extra on there. And I had a scrap piece, which I'm looking for, and I cannot find. So I have to use a big piece. Not happy with that. Ah, here's my scrap piece. Found my scrap piece. Okay, so I'm going to grab same die right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out of some brushed gold metallic cardstock. You might now be able to see where we're going to go when I get that, when this is done and I can make that third card out of these extra pieces. All right. Oh my gosh, Cordelia, isn't it though? The stamp wheel is the best stenciling tool ever. And stamping tool. And really everything. I swear it could make coffee at this moment in time. I love it. The stamp wheel is awesome. All right, so that is this. Clean those up later. And I'm going to keep this and this for my third card. So I'm going to use those in a little bit later. All right. And just a reminder, while I'm setting my next things up, please share this live while we're live. You have about 20 minutes. And you will be entered to win a gift card to Altenew. And Lydia is behind the badge today, so please give her a little bit of love. And she will be announcing that winner at the end of our show. All right, so the Hosta 3D embossing folder comes with a stencil, coordinating stencil, and there's 3 of these, so 1, 2, and 3, and they do different parts of the overall thing. I don't want to color all of this in. I don't want to color all of this in because I want to keep that white space because I want some clean and simple cards, right? So I'm actually going to pick stencil 2. You could pick stencil 3, you could pick stencil 1, but I picked stencil 2 because it had enough, it had like enough white space left over, if you will, and it just did kind of these portions of the, it just did these portions of the design, and that's what I wanted to keep. All right, so I'm going to grab Mountain Mist, and I'm going to use my small blending tools that I used before, and I am going to live a little dangerously, and I'm just going to keep my hand on this, and all I'm doing is just lightly brushing this green over the top of this. I'm not going super duper saturated. I'm going for a very soft look. And again, why you'd be using Mountain Mist for this. All right, again, soft look. I just want a little bit of green because of the clean and simple design, and I want to keep the focus on the cactus when we add the cactus in. All right, so there we go, and you can see really super simple, and that just gives it a little bit there. I think Tracy in the chat, because Lydia stays on and she puts it into the chat in there. That's where I've seen it before when I look back to see it. All right, now I have a little surprise, which is a little hard to see here, but I backed this on spicy yogurt cardstock. And if you're like, yeah, I don't see anything, this is white and this is spicy yogurt cardstock. And Cece, the hole in the frame is the outside of that instant camera frame. So we're going to put that back in. So I didn't have to like go ahead and measure that or anything at all for this. So I'm just going to add that back in, and that's going to be our little inlay. But I need a background for it. And just to give this a little bit of kind of depth and dimension, and just a little bit different so you can see that, I want to put this over spicy yogurt cardstock. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. And spicy yogurt, Lydia, right? It's as everybody has said, you're either a spicy yogurt person or you haven't tried it yet. And that's really what this is. Now I'm cutting this down just slightly to 4 by 5 1/4. And the reason why is because I want that little bit of spicy yogurt to show through on the edges. And I did not do this before because I forgot. So if you do this and have your paper already ready to go and you've cut it before you put in the middle part, kudos to you. Or you can do what I do and just take a little bit off each of the 4 sides. All right. And it totally works either way. I know, it's a lot. It's a lot going on, Sherry. I got to tell you, it's a lot going on. Now, I will say that when I have like a textured background like this, I don't really like to use glue as much. What I do is I use the ultra sticky double-sided tape, and this one is the 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to add this right in. And this way, I know that this sucker is going to stay put. So when I do that for it. Well, I don't know, Crystal, about that, but we'll see. Pro. I have to tell you, I hold my breath. You can tell that I stop talking a little bit when I have to like stamp, when I have to hand stamp, because I'm totally, let's just say without a stamp positioner, I probably would not be a stamper. That's the way I think of it. I would have admired it from afar. Jennifer, thank you so much for sharing. You too, like Jennifer, can be entered to win our gift card drawing, which Lydia, who is behind the badge today, will be announcing our winner at the end of our live today. All right, so I'm just grabbing a little bit of extra tape, putting these right in. Okay, and again, release paper is really super easy on these, but I just want to make sure it is covered. Okay, just getting that down. And I have to find, here there. I like to use these tweezers just because my nails are in a state right now. So I haven't gotten them fixed yet. So this is the easiest way for me to get this release paper off, is just to use a little bit of tweezers on here. All right, now, so like I said before, clean and simple cards. Do you guys consider yourself, is that kind of a thing you like to do, is clean and simple cards? And is anybody a Mail It Monday? Like, does anybody do Mail It Monday and make sure that they have cards that go out on Monday? I'm terrible. So, oh my gosh, Pam, isn't it fabulous? I love this tape as well, as you can tell, because I love using a lot of it on my projects. So let me know, do you consider yourself, or do you struggle with clean and simple cards? Where do you kind of fall within that clean and simple card making? Is that something that you struggle with, or is it something that you kind of like, hey, that's my style that I like to do? Where are you in clean and simple card making? And like I said, sometimes it's a little bit in the eye of the beholder. I always kind of consider clean and simple cards to be cards that have a lot of white space, that it's not too overly designed, but the pieces have to be really well thought out, you know? I think so too. Yeah, Sherry, try them. I hope this inspires you, which is why this is Amy's Inspiration Station. I hope this inspires you to get those little, tiny mini delights out. And even if you don't have the mini delights, if you have like a flower set, you know how there's always like little tiny filler flowers or kind of smaller little bits, use those little bits. We don't always think about those extra stamps or the other stamps that are in a set, but those would be great here too. But that's what I tend to do, is I kind of use those extra little stamps. And that's why I like the mini delights so much, is because you can really, you can use them in the way that they're intended, which is to be small and tiny. All right. Okay. I got one more piece, hopefully. I have to say I did a pretty good job putting all this tape on, and it is coming off, whether it wants to or not. So like I said, the spicy yogurt, which I'm putting this on to. Yeah, Crystal, I got to tell you. Oh my gosh, Kathy, I hope that you do. I hope you do embrace it. It's really, I think it's good, because a lot of times I make these cards and then I'm like, they don't always get out to where they need to get to, And then I'm like, I really need to do that. All right, so now this one, I am going to use a little glue. And I'm going to go ahead and pop this right in. And then we're going to stamp our cactus. And I will show you my bonus card. But the Mini Delight sets are really, really great. All right, so again, we're just doing a little inlay. And because I cut this out of white paper initially, I can put this right in. So I can put this right in. Oh, yeah, Cece. It's nice to have that white space, because it kind of gives, like, your brain just that space to be like, oh, and I think, the rest of your design really kind of pops out of it too. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stamp this little cactus. So I have already got my little cactus that I've already die cut out, and I have my negative space of my cactus, which is right here. And I'm going to bring my stamp wheel back in, move this over to the side. And again, I'm going to put my negative space right in. And the stamp wheel is fabulous because this is all going to stick. So the cactus has 4 little stamps with it. There's a pot. There's 2 stripes for the cactus itself. And then there's a little tiny flower because, cactus, they do have flowers. Oh, good. Yeah, Debbie, hey, try it. You know, make this the time where you're going to go ahead and mail it out. You know, get those cards out, make somebody's day. Sometimes I feel like either we're busy or sometimes I'm like, oh, my card's not good enough. But just, I think it's more about just getting it out and having that sentiment. And I think that that's what's really more important because that's what we do, you know? Oh, that's great, Sue. Glad you do. All right, so this, I'm just stamping with some ink. This is the Crisp by ink. So I'm using some milk chocolate. And again, because I have that little piece in there, it's going to stamp right where I need it to stamp. And let's move that to the side. And now I'm actually going to grab this little die cut out of here to line up my next set. So the next one here, there's kind of one that's a little bit bigger and one that's a little thinner. So now I'm going to use the one that has the thicker stripes. And I'm going to go ahead and line this right up. And just to make sure that it's going to fit right where it needs to fit. Okay, I'm going to pick that up with my stamp wheel lid. And put my die cut back. This card is just really adorable. And I really like this set of the cactus. And I was thinking of a really cool way to use it. And this is what I came up with today. All right, so that's my cactus. I'm just going to do that one more time. And then just put that right in. And that was Mountain Mist because I wanted that kind of like, you know, a little bit of a softer vibe. And now I'm going to come in with the thinner ones. And this one, I found it easier just to put it right on top of what I've already stamped. I found this one to be easier instead of pulling the die cut out again. Now this one I'm going to come in with a darker green, and I chose Grass Field. Just a little bit brighter for that. Okay, and that goes right in there. Look how cute that is. All right, make him a little bit brighter. All right, so I had the flower that is here is an outline. And so I'm going to very, very quickly use my artist markers to color it in. But I just want to get this in right. I always sometimes have trouble with these little fiddly bits and where exactly they need to go. So I'm just going to kind of smoosh it in there. And I wanted this, you know, because it's an outline, I wanted it to be a little bit darker. And for those of you who know me, you know that I have a love affair with Rhodolite. So I'm pulling in Rhodolite, which is this really beautiful dark burgundy color. It's gorgeous. Look at that. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, of course you didn't grab it then. I know. I feel like that too. Oh my gosh, Sue. I don't know. I love the size of this thing. I don't know if I want a mini stamp wheel. That'd be great to kind of put out to everybody. I really like it, the size it is, because I feel like I can do so many things with it on here. All right, so I'm going to do just really super quick coloring. And I just grabbed Delectable Delights. I have number 3 and number 1. So I have vanilla cream and I have almond butter. And I'm just going to do some really fast coloring. Now, you might have said, well, Amy, you didn't use permanent black. You used a crisp dye ink. Is that okay? Is this going to be okay? Absolutely. I'm not doing a ton of coloring. I'm just doing a little bit. And remember that these are alcohol markers. And so alcohol and water, they're okay to use together. If I were to use oil, that's obviously not going to work because those are two alike. And that's going to make my colors run a little bit, or make my outline run a little bit. So it's totally okay to use this. I'm not going to, obviously permanent black is your safest bet, but this is totally fine to use because I'm not doing a ton. I'm just doing a little bit of blending. I'm not going over it a ton. Just doing a little bit. And then for my flower, I have these. I have crimson and I also have rouge. And I'm just going to come in with a little bit of crimson, and that, yeah, right, Sherry. It's a lot of practice, Sherry. A lot of coloring at the sidelines of soccer games. I will tell you that. A lot at the sidelines of soccer games. All the other parents are like, "Oh, what are you coloring today?" I have to tell them, "Oh, this is what I'm working on." All right, so there's my little guy. All right, so now let's come on over with my card. And I have here, I'm going to grab my Instant Dimension foam tape, and I just want to pop this little cactus up just a little bit. And I need scissors. Here we go. So I'm just going to grab my Instant Dimension foam tape, add just a little bit to the back of the cactus. And you see I got a little extra, so I'm just going to take these pieces. These, by the way, are super fabulous scissors. Lydia, these are amazing. I've only been using them for a couple of weeks because I just got them. But they don't, like, there's no sticky. You know, when you're cutting tape and all that stuff, there's just absolutely no sticky to it. And you can get right in because you got these, like, little fine detail pieces, you know, the edges of them. Super cute. So I don't know if you guys have these scissors, but I have to say I'm in love now with these scissors. All right, so I'm just going to take this off and put this guy right in the middle. So the sentiment that's part of the cactus is called Stay Strong, or it says it's Stay Strong. And I thought that was great. And for what I wanted to do today, to have these encouraging cards, I thought that was actually perfect. So I'm just going to put him right in the middle, right there. And then on my little piece of paper, my little scrap piece of paper over here, I'm just going to grab Stay Strong, put that on my stamp block, which left me. Here it is. So I'm just going to grab this, put this right on my stamp block, and grab my Obsidian ink. And then I'm going to cut this out. So I still have this here, but I'm just going to keep it right like that. And then I'm just going to cut it out. So, I'm going to go really, really close to this, to the edge of this, because I don't want it to be too thick. I don't need it to be super extra long. I am just going to cut it out just a little bit. And I wanted to give it a little bit of a tiny flag. I'm a terrible flag maker. I need a die to do that. So I kind of wanted it, and my purpose was for it to actually be kind of like have raggedy edges. So I know my flag up there is not super great, but actually it was definitely on purpose is what I'm trying to say. It's definitely on purpose. And I know that trick of like bending it in, but my paper's a little too thick here. But that's why these scissors are like super nice, because you can get that little fine detail of this. And just put that right in. So I'm just cutting little fishtails. There we go. All right. So now I'm just going to grab a little bit of foam tape. Put this right on the back. And those are my two cards. And look at that, I did too. Hi, Miss Tamp. I hope you are doing well. I'm just going to put this right here. You actually can stamp on the gold, but you really need like a permanent black obsidian, and then you can put clear embossing over it. But I kind of liked it with the little flag, so that's why I did that. But this guy's really cute. All right, so now let me show you really quick how I would, let me show you my third card and how I would put it together. So what I did with the third one is I had these two like little rectangles left over from doing my die cutting here. And I'm like, I got to do something with these two. So what I did is I stamped the tiny foliage on the white. And I added, you can see it right here, just like the technique I did on my first card. I just added 2 strips of that 1/4 inch ultra sticky adhesive, put my 2 little rectangles here, and then added a sentiment. So super easy, and I'm not wasting my little pieces because I looked at this and I'm like, this piece is too big. I can't throw it out, but I can't do anything with it. So I'm like, oh, you know what? That would be really cute. So I just put them here. I added the double-sided adhesive to make it super sticky. And that's how I made my 3rd card. So these are my 3 cards today. So I have that mini paint box. I have the mini cactus. And then this one is tiny foliage. And again, I just did this so I could reuse soap of those things. Yeah, this one probably definitely. And I will say, and it might be hard to tell, but that is on spicy yogurt cardstock. And I wanted to do that on spicy yogurt because that's really going to help that white to stand out and for this image to stand out. So I did that on the spicy yogurt. Spicy yogurt is it's a fabulous, just get it, put it in your craft room, and you'll thank me for it. Because when somebody told me to get it, I thank them as well. So those are our 3 cards today. So I wanted to say a huge thank you to Lydia, who is behind the badge. And thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with us at Altenew and for tuning in to Amy's Inspiration Station. And thank you so much for being here. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. And send those cards out, everybody. Send those cards out. All right. Bye, everybody.